it felt like a joke, honestly, like someone from a booth was just like staying there laughing and you know, like, oh, let's see if you can handle this.
From that night I kissed that little shit. Bye. You're blaming on the sunshine. I'm blaming on the moonlight. You're blaming on the good times. Blaming on the boogie.
6 iguais.
Nobody saw it coming. One moment, the Madrid Open quarterfinals were unfolding like any other match on the WTA calendar, and the next, the entire tennis world was frozen in place, phones out, replaying the same clip over and over again. Aryna Sabalenka had just been knocked out by Hailey Baptiste, a result shocking enough on its own, but what happened immediately after is what really set everything on fire. Because there, caught clearly on camera, were Alex Eala and Victoria Mboko dancing. Just full-on, unashamed, joyful dancing. And if you think that sounds harmless, you clearly have not been paying attention to what has been building in women's tennis for the past several years, because that dance was not just a celebration. It was a statement. It was the kind of moment that only makes sense when you understand everything that came before it, and that is exactly what we are going to get into today, because this story runs deep. Let us go back to the beginning, because nothing about what happened in Madrid exists in a vacuum. Aryna Sabalenka is, without question, one of the most physically dominant players to ever step onto a tennis court. The power in her game, the way she dismantles opponents with sheer force and precision, it is genuinely something to witness. She earned her position at the top of the world rankings through real work, real dedication, and real talent. Nobody is here to take that away from her. But here is where it gets complicated. Over the years, alongside all of those achievements, Sabalenka quietly built a second reputation, one that had nothing to do with her forehand and everything to do with how she behaved when things did not go her way. And that reputation, piece by piece, match by match, incident by incident, is what made that dance in Madrid feel like so much more than two young women having a good time. It started, for many people, with Madison Keys. When Keys defeated Sabalenka in a Grand Slam final, the tennis world expected the usual post-match moment of mutual respect, two competitors acknowledging what they had just put each other through. Keys had played an extraordinary match. She had competed with everything she had and she had won, cleanly and convincingly. What she received in return was not grace. What she got was dismissiveness, a response that felt less like sportsmanship and more like Sabalenka trying to rewrite what had just happened in real time. The message was subtle, but it landed clearly. Keys had not really beaten her. Sabalenka had simply beaten herself. Now, every player has bad losses. Every great champion has moments where they struggle to process defeat gracefully. That is human. That is understandable. But this was not a one-time slip. It was the opening chapter of something much longer. Then came Coco Gauff. When Gauff won the French Open against Sabalenka, the clay courts of Roland Garros witnessed something genuinely historic. A young woman, already carrying enormous expectations, rising to the biggest moment and delivering. And Sabalenka's response? Almost identical to what happened with Keys. The framing was that Sabalenka had played poorly, that the result reflected her own performance collapsing rather than Gauff doing anything particularly brilliant. Think about what that actually communicates. Coco Gauff, one of the most exciting and gifted players of her generation, wins a Grand Slam and cannot even receive the simple acknowledgement that she outplayed her opponent. That is not just poor sportsmanship. It is a specific kind of disrespect, the kind that says your victory only counts if I decide to validate it. And Gauff, to her credit, kept moving. She did not get pulled into any public back and forth. She just kept winning and kept growing and kept earning the admiration of fans across the world. But the pattern around Sabalenka was becoming impossible to ignore. Then came the moment that crossed every imaginable line. At the WTA finals, when Elena Rybakina claimed the title in a final that had the entire crowd on edge, cameras caught Sabalenka in what witnesses and viewers described as a deeply troubling reaction. Racial remarks, directed at Rybakina, picked up on camera with no ambiguity, no room for alternate interpretation. The tennis world did not collectively gasp and move on. It sat with that moment because it revealed something unsettling about how Sabalenka processed losing to certain players. It was not just that she struggled to accept defeat. It was the nature of what that struggle looked like when the filters came down. And yet, through all of this, the conversation around it remained quieter than it probably should have been. There is a particular kind of protection that comes with being ranked #1 in the world, with being the face of a sport, with winning the titles and bringing in the audiences. It tends to soften the edges of accountability. But accountability, as we are now seeing, has a way of finding its moment regardless. Now we need to talk about Alex Eala, because she is at the heart of everything that has made this story explode the way it has. Eala is young, she is Filipino, she is magnetic, and she is getting better at a pace that is making people inside the sport genuinely excited. There is a quality to her game and to her presence that you cannot manufacture no matter how many coaches you hire or how much money you throw at development. It is the real thing. Fans feel it immediately. They gravitate toward her the way crowds gravitate toward players who remind them why they fell in love with tennis in the first place. And this, apparently, is exactly what bothered Sabalenka. Because even before Eala had broken through at the highest level, Sabalenka's attitude toward her was telling. There were moments of visible irritation, a coldness that went beyond normal competitive rivalry. Sabalenka is a player who demands to be the center of gravity in every room she walks into, and Eala's growing presence seemed to disturb that expectation in a way that Sabalenka could not quite contain. There is a specific moment that a lot of people still talk about. At the Laureus Sports Awards, a prestigious event that gathers some of the biggest names across all of sport, Sabalenka was the winner in her category. It was her night by every formal measure. And yet, somehow, the room belonged to Alex Eala. The energy when Eala arrived, the way people moved toward her, the genuine warmth she attracted from every direction, it created one of those rare moments where a room tells you something true about where attention and affection actually live. And by multiple accounts, Sabalenka noticed. She more than noticed. The tension in her reaction was visible to people who were present. Not because Eala had done anything wrong. Not because she had stepped out of line or tried to overshadow anyone. Simply because she existed in that space and people loved her for it. There is something particularly revealing about being threatened by someone who has not even challenged you yet. It suggests that the real anxiety is not about what has happened but about what is coming. And what is coming with Alex Eala is something significant. Everyone in tennis can see it. The trajectory, the development, the competitive instinct she shows in big moments, it all points toward a player who is going to be a major force for years. Sabalenka knows it too. And that knowledge has been shaping how she has treated Eala long before their paths crossed in any meaningful competitive sense. So when Eala and Victoria Mboko stood there in Madrid and danced after Baptiste knocked Sabalenka out, it was not random. It was not thoughtless. It was the kind of moment that only happens when something has been building beneath the surface for a long time and finally finds its release. Was it the most traditional display of sportsmanship? Probably not. Were there people watching who winced a little? Sure. But context matters enormously here, and the context is years of dismissiveness, condescension, and in at least one case, something far worse than that. When you have spent years responding to your own losses by tearing down the people who beat you, when you have made other players feel small and unseen and disrespected, you do not get to claim sanctuary when the energy finally shifts in the other direction. This is not a new concept. Tennis has always had its rivalries, its tensions, its moments where the emotions boil over in unexpected ways. What makes this particular situation so layered is that one of the players at the center of it is just beginning her journey while the other is at a crossroads in hers. Eala has an entire career ahead of her. She has time to grow, to learn, to become whatever version of herself she is moving toward. And the love she is generating from fans right now is not manufactured hype. In Italy for the Italian Open, the reception she received was extraordinary. Crowds lining up early just to catch a glimpse of her. The kind of warmth that players spend entire careers hoping to earn and most never fully do. Even Coco Gauff, who has every reason to stay focused entirely on her own climb, has taken time to publicly express genuine support for Eala's rise. Think about that for a moment. One of the best players in the world, someone who has her own complicated history with Sabalenka, choosing to lift up this young player rather than protect her own spotlight. That is what genuine confidence looks like. That is the difference between someone who is secure in who they are and someone who constantly needs external validation to feel stable. And that contrast between Eala and Sabalenka has never been sharper than it is right now. Sabalenka is not done as a competitor. She will win more matches, maybe more titles, maybe even more Grand Slams. Her physical gifts do not disappear overnight. But something has shifted in how the tennis world sees her, and the dance in Madrid was not the cause of that shift. It was the symptom of it. It was the moment when the accumulated weight of years of behavior finally became visible in a way that could not be explained away or buried beneath the noise of the rankings. What does Sabalenka do with this? That is the interesting question going forward. She has shown flashes of self-awareness over the years, moments where she seemed to understand that her public image was costing her something real. But understanding something and actually changing the behavior that created it are very different challenges. The tennis world will be watching how she responds to Baptiste's victory, watching how she interacts with players like Eala going forward, watching whether the person we have seen in the toughest moments is the whole story or just one chapter of a longer one. In the meantime, Alex Eala danced in Madrid and the world cheered. Victoria Mboko stood right beside her, and the moment felt earned in a way that is hard to put into words but very easy to feel. Two young players, full of potential and promise, refusing to make themselves smaller to protect someone else's comfort. Refusing to pretend that years of disrespect had not happened just because it was now inconvenient to acknowledge it. There is something genuinely exciting about where women's tennis is heading. The generation coming through right now is talented and bold and not particularly interested in maintaining hierarchies that no longer serve them. Eala is a symbol of that shift, but she is far from alone in it. The sport is evolving, and the players who thrive in the next decade will be the ones who understand that real respect has to be given before it can be demanded. So let us end here with the questions that actually matter coming out of all of this. Do you think Eala and Mboko were right to celebrate the way they did? Or did the moment cross a line even given everything that came before it? Is Sabalenka capable of genuine change, or is the behavior we have seen in recent years simply who she is when the stakes are high enough to strip everything else away? And what about Eala herself? Do you see her becoming not just a top player but the kind of figure who redefines what it means to be a leading voice in women's tennis, both on the court and beyond it? Drop everything you are thinking into the comments below, because this conversation is just getting started, and honestly, this might be one of the most fascinating storylines the sport has produced in years.